Joe Biden in 2024, or is he going to the shuffleboard tournament somewhere in South Florida?
You know, you have to put this in historical context, is that the last president to willingly walk away from power was Lyndon Johnson. That was over 50 years ago. Democrats, as part of their ideology, is that they like power, they like government. Joe Biden is going to run for re-election. You can take that to the bank, really. There's no doubt in my mind. I don't think there's any real doubt in anybody's mind. There's too much invested. There's too much money to be made. There's too much celebrity to be celebrated. You know, there's too much at stake for him not to run. He's gonna run. And now the question is whether or not Kamala Harris runs on the ticket with him, because everybody knows she's an anchor. He's dragging the anchor of her unpopularity. So I think it's probably I'd say 60-40 that he's going to keep her, 40% that he's going to dump her and choose another running mate.
You know what, Craig, it is historically and morally corrupt of the media to not give this story its due diligence, because we talk a lot about Joe Biden's age and his mental competency, but that's mostly in conservative circles. You're not going to hear NBC, ABC, CBS do these in-depth stories about it. They'll give it lip service, and that's about it. But I remember, and of course I'm curious to get your take on this from a presidential historian standpoint, but back in the day, Ronald Reagan, I mean, there were tons of stories by the main networks about Ronald Reagan's age. That was the main theme back then. And he was what, 69? He was 77 when he left office, but he was 69 when he entered office. Right. Yeah, so therefore much younger than Biden, actually, and yet that was a big deal to them back then, but it's not today. Craig.
No, he was not only, David, he was not only younger, he was more vital. He's what gerontologists would call old young. He was older by chronologically, but he acted like a young man. He rode horses, he split wood, he built fences. He did everything that you would associate with a young person. Joe Biden does not. Joe Biden is what gerontologists would call old. He looks old and he acts old. And you're seeing it, you know, the way he shuffles when he walks. He can't run anymore. He kind of shuffles. And, you know, his mental acuity is in question often. So it's just I don't know where else to go with this, except that he is going to run. Yeah. But it is going to be, you know, one other thing, too. Reagan's age dominated the headlines in 1979 before he ran in 1980. It just was the news all the time, and it showed up in polling, it showed up in news reports, it showed up everywhere. So much so that he really got down on himself, because he knew he was a vital man. He was still active. He still had a lot to offer people, but the media was just incessant about it. And it was only until he started acting young, or started, you know, really running, and he started winning, that he banished the issue.
Yeah. I'm wondering what Joe Biden's legacy may be as historians write his legacy going forward. Because I can tell you this, that Franklin Foer in this biography, and I've got about 30 seconds left, but inside this book, apparently, he talks about how Biden actually says many times that he feels very tired and that he doesn't take meetings before 10 a.m. And it just goes on, that he just does not have the mental acuity and the stamina to do the job. 30 seconds here.
No, you're absolutely right. He doesn't. And it's obviously of concern. You know, if he was competent, then the age issue would not be there. But the fact is, he's incompetent. So now people have to point to reasons why he's incompetent. Well, it's because his age. I would say it's because his age and his ideology. His ideology doesn't work, and his age doesn't work.